the spot, potatoes.
This is the third one in a row.
Three-peat.
We like this guy. Subscribe to him, Sergeant Satire.
Hello!
Magic Cry.
Spartan Steve!
Sergeant Satire.
And this is on the spot reviews.
Flip that coin.
Flip that coin.
You have a higher success rate with that coin than us with all
Combined.
videos combined.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still the same thing. Heads, tails. And
Yeah.
blah.
Heads, tails,
Heads or tails.
go!
No, the chain's broken.
No.
That's
He's just like us.
That's
yeah.
still... What is it?
heads.
Yes!
Woo! Finally!
Yeah.
Okay, Shane.
It's a sign.
Do you want to say it?
I do want to say it.
Or I could start singing a song from it.
Okay, let's do it in sequence. Red
Dead.
Redemption.
Holy crap! Love this game.
Love this.
It's.
I
it's
know
pretty
you.
good.
I know you were really excited to review
Oh
this.
my god! What do I say?
That's why I said we gotta do this one as fast as we can because it's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll throw some questions at you.
Yeah.
As you know, it's the developer Rockstar.
I love using the lasso. I just want to say that first. Just like the rope, just tugging people along.
Yes.
Just wasting time.
That's
Yes.
a last.
Just messing
That's a
around.
good waste time game.
It's just. It's so big and just.
That's what she said.
It's the ultimate like hacking around, just playing for the sake of playing game.
So as you know, it's the developer of Grand Theft Auto, Bully, Manhunt.
Better than all of those.
That's what I was gonna say. This is actually my favorite Rockstar game.
Yeah.
The
And
best story of
And
any Rockstar
as far as
game.
last generation goes,
Yeah.
like the 360 PS3 gen, this was one of my top 5.
Oh yeah.
Where I went, wow, games could be 2 games at once.
Like I forgot to leave my house a few times when I was playing that. I'm just like, oh wait, I know people. I have to do things.
And when you think like how amazing Red Dead is, then there's Undead Nightmare on top of it. So there's just like more
that's a blast.
amazingness just thrown in there.
Yeah.
Just like
That
oh,
game-
you're having a great time. Here's a better time.
Okay, so as far as questions go, all right, let's get to the bare bones. How's the story?
Yeah.
Oh
Story.
my
One thing is like
God.
people like, oh, Rockstar always makes great stories. I've never been enthralled by a GTA story.
You don't.
Red Dead.
Okay, yeah.
pulled
'cause
me in all the
I didn't
way.
want to sound arrogant, but whenever I play Grand Theft Auto games, as much as I like them, the story's going on. I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's Scarface, Goodfellas, Godfather.
Every
You've
mob
heard it.
movie ever made. It's
Sound-
not bad.
The thing
But
is, Grand Theft Auto's fine, but that story cannot pull me through to the end.
5 is the only one that kind of got me.
Yeah,
It's like you
yeah.
got 3 different characters, but Red Dead. Oh
Mm.
man, right off the opening
Right off
scene.
the bat, it's like you're not a bad guy. Well,
No.
you play a guy who's
He's an
done some-
anti-hero.
He's
He
an
doesn't like to
anti-hero.
do what he's doing, but he has to do it anyway. He's the outlaw. On the
Yeah.
back of the box,
Yeah.
the Old West is dying, and
Yeah.
it's like
But what you go through with him makes him
Yeah.
lovable.
His name is John.
Right?
that's the
Yeah,
best
that's-
reason
that's-
I've ever
that's the-
heard.
Yeah.
So story sells you.
I don't want to say much for spoilers, but like it's a great story. You get into him. But that sounds bad too, but like you just
Oh, you get it.
I-
you get into him.
You get into.
Uh,
Well, it's not like a lot of Western stories. A lot of Western stories are like, let's track down this burglar guy, or these bandits, or we're gonna get some money. This is more, it's a redemption story.
do the good for the sake of doing some good. And
Yeah.
the world's nasty, but tough shit.
Yeah.
That's
And they
the-
don't just expose you to like a small part. You get a little bit of South America. No, not Mexico. That's not South America.
No.
And
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
Texas. I don't know. It's North Texas as far as that game goes, but like
The Old West.
it's the Old West. But you
The Old
also
West,
get
yeah.
like forestry and a little bit of snow, and like that's what kind of makes it like
Variety.
yeah,
It always keeps you on the edge of your seat.
It does.
yeah.
Or right off your seat.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How about the villains? Tell me a bit about the villains, if you recall.
To be honest, I've forgotten their names and stuff.
Okay,
But
no, no,
what I
you
do
have
remember is that they were just nasty assholes. Like you wanted to get
Yeah.
these guys.
They always
Yeah,
have that
absolutely.
impression. They always have that
Like
impression.
Grand Theft Auto again, like they show the bad guy. It's just a number to me. It's just a guy I have to kill to
Insert number 1.
Yeah,
die,
a bad guy
guy
number
to die second.
Red Dead.
guy
I'm
to-
like that. I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm just like
yeah,
You
yeah.
are
it-
Red
it's-
Dead.
Like there's these parts in the game where like you have to raid like a fort, right?
Yeah.
And like there's like guys coming at you from all angles, but like you're so focused to get every single one of them down because you want to get that guy.
Not that Shane is like psychotic.
No,
in real
no,
life,
it's-
but in the game it makes you a little psychotic. You're like, I really want to take this guy out. And then,
And for the sake of why not, there's a hunting mechanic.
No,
And it's
that's it. It's well done.
Yeah,
how about the horseback riding? How awesome is that?
you can literally ride forever. That's a game where I don't care that it's like it takes long to get places. Like when you play Wind Waker, I get it. The sailing is really long and whatnot, but when you play Red Dead, it's like look at
and you
this
might get distracted by things that are going on. And
Yeah, like, oh, you want to stop these bandits from robbing this cart, or
cool.
you found a snake, you want to hunt it, or like,
Sure.
You know,
or
what's-
you want to pick up some guns. Or...
Steve actually does this pretty often, but he puts on music for games, and I have to say, Red Dead is the best putting on music.
Ghost
to
Rider in
play.
the Sky.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially the Spider-Man
It's
version.
the perfect game for that. Like, if you want to.
Oh, my
Dead Man's Gun and Joe. And this song soundtrack's pretty good. Most of the songs are secluded for like an emotional part in the story. Like it's relatively quiet as you're going along. It's not like your horse has a radio station. Like, Grand
Just
Theft
like
Auto.
You just pull the ear like, change
Yeah.
the station. Just like antenna.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for people who call it Grand Theft Horse, what do you have to say to those people?
Not very nice.
Not very nice things.
Grand Theft Horse.
That's what people call it. No, they're like, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto with horses. I'm like, no, it's better.
Or is Grand Theft Auto Red Dead Redemption with cars?
Ooh. Well, some people like to say, oh, it's in the same universe, which I
They're
don't agree.
stupid.
No, that annoys me. You know what's funny thing is because it takes place in the Wild West, I thought I'd get bored with the guns really fast. It's like, oh, we don't have rapid shooting like fully automatics.
It's so
That
cool.
that mechanic makes it all worth it.
Even just using the carbines and like the slow shooting, like the rifles are so cool. And like the aiming, I have to say the one thing is like the accuracy system. They make it a little challenging for you, and I find that really cool.
I got the knack of it.
It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot
It's
of
better than
practice,
GTA 4's.
but it's cool.
Oh, it's realistic physics, so it's the game of the year. It's just like, you know, it's like,
How do you think Red Dead holds up compared to other games that were coming out that year? And just to name a few,
God of War
Mass
3,
Effect 2, God of War 3, Just Cause 2,
Bayonetta,
Bayonetta,
Super Mario Galaxy 2,
yeah, I remember getting both of them the same day.
Metroid Other M, my favorite.
My favorite. I love it. No, I don't.
Other things that year.
I love not playing.
It was your game of the year.
I'm
that year,
pretty
huh?
sure
Red Dead?
Red Dead was the best game from that year. Vanquish was also really awesome. But
Vanquish was
I have to
clutch.
pick one.
You have to pick one.
Red Dead.
And I have to say, even without touching the multiplayer, it's game of the year. But now the multiplayer, have you played it?
A bit.
I've never
Yeah.
played it.
It's
It's pretty
free
good.
roam and
It's
it's
pretty good.
dumb fun.
Oh, yes, we have played it.
Yeah,
I have
you
played
could
it.
ride a mule instead of
Yes,
a horse.
yeah.
That's the greatest thing ever.
It's actually really challenging online. It's really
Yeah.
fun. It reminds you a little of GTA Online in the sense of like the mechanics of like fighting other people, but it's cool. It's really cool.
Another question. Sorry, I keep rapid
No,
firing
no.
these questions.
No, it's a group discussion.
Being a game that like is enthralled in side missions, but still has a compelling story that's like, oh, the side missions don't outweigh the storyline, and vice versa. But it's like, what does it take? Like 40 hours to beat? 30 hours?
It took me a while.
Yeah. Would
to-
you play that again from scratch? Because like it was just that. Yeah, it's that kind of game. It's not like.
Yeah, no hesitation.
Yeah, it's not like when you play an Assassin's Creed game. Like I can't go back to this once I'm done. Like.
I think you would say yes, like to go into what you just asked, Steve. I think you would say yes. It does have replayability, but it would take like another. Like I would wait like 2 years before playing it again. Like I wouldn't just be like, oh, I beat it, gonna go do the next difficulty now.
Well, here's the thing. As of May, the first time I'll have played that game was 5 years ago.
So
That game is almost 5 years old, and I might be able to pick it up again. I mean, I think it still holds up. It's still beautiful to look at.
yeah.
When you beat like a mission and like the sunset and like you could walk. towards it, oh, man.
Yeah, that's a blast.
The whole terrain. What do you think about the terrain, Shane? Like, what would you say?
Well, like we were talking earlier, like the variety of
Yeah.
everything. Like you got like just like the long open plains.
You can.
got the-
It's easy to identify where you are in the world. You're like, oh, the desert's kind of like now has this sort of whitish tint, and there's cactuses. I'm
Yeah.
around in Mexico.
No,
Like,
Steve.
even-
Cacti.
Tactile. Thank you.
Oh, even every town had like a certain attitude and atmosphere. Like there's this one town, like it's like in like kind of like a marshland or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it was just a really like down and just dirty place to be. Like you didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
But you have to. It's
Yeah.
just like
I have to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys,
No.
but in every game I've ever played, and it's hard to say this coming from a Rockstar game, but the raw emotion of Red Dead Redemption, like Shane was just saying about the going into towns and like feeling like you don't belong, like it's weird to feel that while playing a video game, because like in a sense you do immerse yourself into another world. But at the same time, you're never fully there on an emotional level. You're there more on an entertainment level.
because you are on a couch. Holding
But they're also sort of grabs me by certain emotions. Like I'll fix up little things depending on where I go, even though they really don't matter. Like, all right, I'm heading towards this part of town. I'm gonna put on that trench coat,
I
like
think
Legend of the West.
it's
epic,
because
I need to identify myself. It's kind of like Clint Eastwood.
the most human of the Rockstar games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Grand Theft Auto's bonkers craziness. L.A. Noire was just like a tribute to that genre or whatever.
And
like this is
And what an incredible thing to say, because this was a ballsy game to make. Wild West is not a popular genre, at least not anymore, and this game just came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, is this gonna be boring? Like how's this gonna sell? And everyone ended up loving it, and it sold like 10 million copies, maybe more.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the fact that it became my favorite Rockstar game still blows me away to this day, because it was so. You don't expect that, like, that's going to be the game and that they want to make that game. On that note, do you think would you be excited for a sequel?
Yeah. I don't think it's completely necessary, but
Yeah.
sure, I'd play
Yeah.
it.
Do you know what they could bring to the table?
I'm not Rockstar, man.
Well, I
They're
don't know,
smart
saying
people
throw
there.
ideas.
They are smart people.
I guess you play as. No, I can't say that.
Do you like the skill system?
No, you can't say
I can't
Did-
say that.
no,
I know
no,
what you're trying to
without
say. You
spoils.
can't.
Do you think they should bring like sort of that skill system from Grand
GTA.
Theft Auto 5? You know, the things where like,
Yeah.
you do certain things, so now you're getting better at those things.
Like yeah,
I
this-
kind of like.
I think that was cool. That's cool, and I think
multiple
the added,
characters, or is
Maybe,
that...
the only thing I can think
No.
of off the top of my head is just like technical stuff, because like it's next gen. Maybe like more stuff going on. Like have like a train. I know there's a lot of train sequences. Like you're
No, I know
following-
what you mean.
And like you just got a bunch of horses following the train. Just more stuff.
You know, it's Wild West, but if it's gonna take place like 10 years later, it's gonna be more populated. There's
Yeah.
gonna be a city or two built.
Yeah. More technology. You said you could drive a car in that. I never found that.
A car?
You said was that you who told me that?
No.
Okay, it was
Well,
somebody else.
unless you're talking
Car.
about like a carriage being pulled by two other horses. You
No,
can
yeah,
have
that you can do. You
Somebody told me you could drive a car in that.
They
game.
lied to you.
Why?
Unless
Yeah,
they got-
I-
Oh, I was gonna say it's a PC mod, but fun fact, that game actually never came to PC.
So there
Oh.
was no cars during that time, so I don't know if that's possible.
yeah, I'm just.
There was kind of like they didn't kind of exist, so
Yeah.
I think
Person
the
was
closest thing to
lying.
car is a horse. So
It's a motor.
yeah.
Further proving my theory that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I guess we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up.
What do you give it out of 10?
Oh me?
Oh, you.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, I have to.
That's your review.
Okay. I was never good at math, so I'm gonna give it a 2,551 on 10.
Okay.
That's perfect.
That's
2,551.
That's a good average.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah. That has played a
So,
couple billion times.
if I give it like just like a few, it's pretty good. So
it's
it's, yeah,
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I know.
Where
Like
it
I'd give it if I'm sticking to the 10 scale, I would give
don't
it
be
a,
like me.
I would give it a 10. Like I said, one of my top 5 of the last gen. Insane replayability. It is inappropriate, obviously, but if you're like 17 and over, whatever, your parents don't care. If you haven't played it, play it because it's awesome.
Definitely in the top 20 of the last, let's say, 15 years. Just
Play
maybe-
Red Dead
Ooh,
Redemption.
just
Okay,
play
it's
it.
good.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, on spot reviews.
Step in front of a runaway train.